Before the video starts, guys, check out our sponsors, Nature's Blends. They specialize in premium Ethiopian black seed products. Their products are fantastic health supplements and also from the Sunnah. The website is in the description link below. You can also use the discount code SALAM10 for 10% off their products.
Can I ask you a question, if you don't mind? Can I ask you a question?
You can while we're filming.
It's an important question.
You have somebody who gets paid for smashing windows, and then you have the guy who sells windows. Yeah, they both benefit of each other. Yeah. You smash the window, we'll sell it, we'll give you a little profit. Tommy and Isis are buddies. They love each other. I'm being honest with you. When an attack happens, I genuinely believe Tommy gets happy. I believe he says that's what we need, because in order for us to achieve our agenda, yeah,
he has said that.
Said what?
Like if a terror attack happens.
The way that you were looking when you were trying to talk about it specifically.
It's just not correct. Like it's what we were talking about isn't correct. We've been here for about 20 minutes now and we don't have any updates on specifically what's happened, but what we do know based on all the reports is that a car has ploughed through Westminster Bridge and crashed into the Houses of Parliament. Gunshots have been fired within the gates and 3 people have been confirmed dead. I don't think this is any surprise to anybody watching this. It's already reported that the man who did this was of Asian origin, which I don't think is very surprising to anybody. If you import a culture, you get a culture. This is a culture of violence, destruction and terrorism, and there should be no surprise when we see it on our streets.
We're following and waiting for them to do this.
Yeah, no problem. So now I was just saying to you, I parked and I thought the stage was there, so I was waiting for you there. You know what made me remember? Because I was like, wait, when they encircled us, you know, what was it? What are they called? Those hooligans? Football.
The DFLA.
Yeah, DFLA. Yeah. What made me remember where the stage was when I got chased, when Hijab was getting hit, and they took me around the stage, and you see these barriers here. That's what made me remember. Okay, this is where the stage is. It's not there, because I was surrounded by them, and I thought I was gonna die basically. So that's the case that made me remember. So I find that quite interesting.
That was caused a massive rift. So
yeah.
what happened behind the scenes? I mean, I guess you know everything, but that was the moment everything fell apart.
Really?
The movement collapsed.
Okay.
What did you I felt like we were legitimate that day. I felt like we had taken over the country. This is what I was saying to the producer. Popular music. There was young people there. What did you think about that? Did you think that was worrying, or did you think it wouldn't last long?
To be honest, when I heard that this rally is happening, and I knew that, for example, this whole freedom of speech thing is being, it's not the real face of it. I said to myself, okay, it's a freedom of speech event. Okay, so that means it's for everybody. So I said, surely I'm sure that they will let me speak. Yeah. Obviously, in my head, I was thinking, I don't think they are, but let's put it to the test, because what it would do is it would kind of grow my respect a little bit to Tommy. So I thought, you know what? If he believes in freedom of speech, I'm sure he would allow me to talk on stage. So that's why I got in contact with, I think, Lucy or George or you. I can't remember.
It was Lucy, yeah.
Yeah, and then I said, look, can I come? You know? And then I think there was a bit of it. She was like, yeah. I think she kind of felt the idea of, okay, actually, why not? Kind of stuff. So she was like, yeah. I said, okay, good. Let me know when.
Yeah.
So then I was speaking you as the organizer, George and Lucy. So I was like, okay, that's quite interesting. So I spoke to Hijab. I said, look, they're actually letting me speak. Yeah. And obviously he was like, nah, they're not going to. I was like, they've invited me, yeah, and it seems quite official. So when that happened, then we heard a back and forth happening, you know. He's going to speak, he's not going to speak. Then the followers of Caolan Robertson, the far right, they were having debates. I can hear the discussions. I can on Facebook, social media. No, he's not going to speak. He's going to speak. So I thought, okay, what's going on? You know, I understood. Yes, some people might dislike the fact that I'm going to come, but I said, surely, if you're standing on the principles of freedom of speech. You might not like it, but you know you're going to allow me to speak. There was a philosopher who said, I forgot his name. He said, I despise what you say, but I'll defend to death the right for you to say it.
We quoted that as well.
Yeah. No, there. But
I remember when you were invited, when you made the offer, we were in a room with Tommy.
Oh, is it?
And we were in a hotel room. We were like, oh my God, Ali wants to speak. And then Tommy burst out laughing. And he was like, that would be serious, let's do it. And then Lucy was like, he might be heckled a bit, but it'll get the crowd going. And he was like, let's Like he was 100% wanting to do it, and it wasn't until you arrived that the head of the DFLA or the FLA or this like far right group that pretended they were about football texted Tommy and said, if you let him on stage, we'll storm the stage, you'll be attacked or whatever. And Tommy was like, no. Each other, and I was saying, this is fucking about freedom of speech. This is the purpose of the event. It's about freedom of expression and freedom of speech. That's literally what it's about, nothing else. And he was like, I can't do it, like it's gonna fucking piss everyone off, I can't do it. And then Lucy came on, super heated. She said, everyone knows about this, everyone already knows he's invited, he said he doesn't care, he can spin it up. And she said, just admit it, it's because he's fucking Muslim, isn't it? And he said, yeah, it is. That's it. And that's when we realised, like at that moment, that he didn't give a fuck about freedom of speech.
Well, obviously,
no, but we were quite convinced, like like we were genuinely like, we are like a cool counterculture thing. Like, there's a lot of far right idiots that we don't want, but we genuinely believed in that. And when he said no, that's when it all got. But you exposed the whole thing.
Yeah, no. To be honest, look, I didn't have the intention. My intention was, if they let me speak, I've got a speech that I'm gonna rip Tommy into pieces. And I might have a few. I had to work on my reflexes to dodge a few bottles that's gonna be thrown at me. But I just thought, okay, if they do that, at least my respect will grow for them, because they don't like me, they despise it, and like what I said, the statement of defending your right to death to speak, I thought they would. When he didn't, I think he made the biggest mistake of his life, and it truly showed me what his nature is. It's not about freedom of speech. That day I knew it, because at the end of the day, if I came here to fight or cause an issue, I would be at fault, but I was invited, I was officially invited, because I'm not going to come here, so when I came and all I wanted to do was come in, and I could see there was a conflict. Someone was like, oh, I don't know, you're not speaking today. I was invited, okay, let's go find out. And I was not even on purpose. I personally believe Tommy even didn't put us backstage. Even he could have put me backstage and say, okay, look, you're not speaking, but at least you're secure. He knew DFL, whatever they're called, the Football Alliance, they were out there, So he kept me and Hijab out there, knowing, look, every 2 seconds I have to look behind me, because I don't know who's going to come and do what. And then what happened is, obviously Hijab got into a bit of a thing with that other guy, that tall guy, and he made a phone call. When he made a phone call, I had to get one guy to say, go and call the police, because he's making a phone call and I don't know what's going to happen. So when he rang, about 5 minutes later, and we saw all those people coming behind us, trying to push us, barge us, and I was like, look, this is what you stand for, freedom of speech. So let me speak. If you don't want me to speak, then why did you invite me here for? So it seemed like a setup to me. Like Tommy knew he's not going to let me speak, but he thought there's going to be an atmosphere of hate. This might be an opportunity to get him bad. And it backfired on him, and it backfired on him really bad. It made him look, really bad.
What do you think would have happened if he would have let you speak and it was a big success and you gave the speech?
I think
he'd be now
sorry?
Do you think he'd be like a massive success now? He would have carried on.
Look, shall I tell you something? If he did that, it would have worked in favour of him. Like it would have been. He would have said, you know what? Look, freedom of speech for everyone, even somebody that I don't like, I despise. I allowed him to speak. It would have been brilliant for him, But it shows you that the hatred that he has for Islam and Muslims contradicts his whole belief of freedom of speech. Because this is why I say to him, you talking about freedom of speech, I know it's nonsense. It's absolute rubbish, because you hate Islam and Muslims so much that you will go against your own principles. The fact that you're here standing here shows me that you're a man of principles. You said, look, this is my principles. Anybody that goes against it, I'm going to speak out against it, And we have a principle in the Quran. Allah tells us, speak the truth, even if it's against yourself or your kin. So meaning, I'm not going to speak. Let's say if you and Hijab had a dispute, and I know Hijab is wrong. I'm not going to take Hijab's side because he's Muslim. I'm not going to take his side because he's my best friend. I'm going to take your side because he's wrong. And today, what you're doing here today shows me you kind of implementing what God tells us to do in the Quran.
How do you feel coming here, after this?
Yeah, obviously it just brings back memories. It brings back memories, like I said to you before. I thought the stage was back there. Then I said to myself, hold on a second. When I was being chased and when Hijab was being attacked and the group of people were chasing me, I was brought to these black gates, and that's not there. So I said, no, it must be further up. So the fact that we got attacked helped me find the stage, because that's what made me remember the stage was here, not there. So me and the cameraman were waiting there, and I said, oh no, actually those black gates are not here. So the fact that we got attacked kind of helped me in a positive way to find the stage here today.
How did you feel about me and George when you were attacked? Do you think we were...
To be honest, obviously I felt like a bit like with you, I had a perception about you, because I can remember when, was it the London Bridge attacks happened?
Yeah.
I can remember you was because I was following you guys on social media to know like where you guys are, so I can confront you guys, you know, because what you were saying wasn't what my religion was about, you know. So I can remember I came when the attacks happened in London Bridge. I think you was there, and I think we missed you by
a minute or something.
yeah, you was there. So I can remember I had a perception about you, you know, that you know you didn't seem like you fitted in the far right. Like you seemed like somebody had, you know, been told certain things and you had hate inside you, but you just didn't seem like, I couldn't say, okay, this guy, I couldn't call you far right. Like it's just the words that you were uttering was, but when I looked at you as a person, and you know, I was like, you know, there's something more to it. But Tommy, yes, even Lucy, I feel a bit like that about her as well. But you know, I just seem like somebody who's been brainwashed, somebody who's seen certain things that are happening, and rightly so. You know, at the end of the day, you've seen people that claim, you know, shout in the name of my religion, coming and doing attacks. You know, I know that people are hurt, they're upset, and they have a right to be upset. I was upset because this person has hijacked my religion, but I saw somebody who was deeply hurt and was being brainwashed. So you was in the wrong crowd telling you the wrong things, and I really wanted to have a discussion with you and sit down and speak with you. So I missed you at that moment in time, but obviously I had that perception. I felt, you know what, actually, you know, the innocent person that I saw in you that day was like, okay, nah, he's not that innocent, because they would have let me speak, you know. Lucy came, and obviously when they surrounded us, she was trying to defend us, etc. I admired that.
Yeah.
I admired that.
Can I ask you a question, if you don't mind? Can I ask you a question?
You can when we're filming.
Yeah, but it's an important question.
No problem. If
I'm
you.
a Christian. I love you.
Yeah.
But what I see today in the world regarding Islam.
Yeah.
This is no judgment on people. Whoever we come from, we love one another, especially as a Christian, born again Christian. But when I see Islam today, and I'm 74 years old now.
You look 45.
45?
Yes.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you.
But all I see from Islam, and I've been observing it now for the past 40 years.
Yeah.
I became a Christian about 40 years ago. And I started to take an interest in religious movements in the world.
Yeah.
All that I have seen from Islam in the past 40 years that I have been watching is violence, murder, slaughter, mayhem, poverty. That's all I see. I see the Sunni hating the Shia. I see the Shia hating the Sunni. I see the Wahhabis hating the Sunni. The Shia. All hating one another. That's all we see, murder.
I used to think a lot of the time that's, I mean, I assume you've seen that in media and not sort of in real life. Is that?
But this is real life.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that's pushed more in certain ways by media. You know, conflict. The media likes conflict.
So
that's just a denial of what's actually happening, young man. It's a denial. In the Iraq-Iran war, there was over 1 million Muslims killed one another. This is a reality.
That's a big. Can I say something?
Over
Uncle?
1 million killed.
Uncle, you know,
the Iraq-Iran war. That was a battle between Shia and Sunni.
No, it wasn't. Uncle, can I say something? I've been listening to you, and you've repeated the word "I see."
Yeah.
So can I ask?
Television.
That's exactly my point, because you keep saying "I see," and I was wondering if you went and saw it for yourself, or you was shown it.
I've got friends who've come from Muslim countries who've told me about it. Christian friends who became Christians, and now that they became Christians, they're under the threat of death.
I would say this is the biggest propaganda out there.
Oh, that's nonsense, son. You're saying it's a lie?
If you allow me to.
No, that's nonsense. You're telling a lie. This is a reality.
If I can just elaborate on it.
In Syria right now, they're killing one another. In Yemen, they're killing one another. God bless you. I love you. I'm not against you. I'm just saying to you as a human being, all I see from Islam is slaughter, murder and mayhem. That's all I see.
But you've made a point. The thing is, you've come here. If you imagine, if you're a Christian, if I came and said the IRA, the Lord's Resistance Army, the Crusaders, and I came and said thank you very much and I want to go, would it be fair for me to come and make these accusations and then say I have to go now?
I have to go now. I have to go.
If you have to go, you have to go.
But I'm saying as a Christian, that's all I see. I have been attacked by Muslims in this country for preaching the gospel.
I'm sorry, that's not from Islam.
I have been threatened. My life has been threatened in this country. I just met a woman today who was attacked with a Muslim with a hammer. She had 12 her skull was cracked in 12 places.
Do you mind reading this? This is from the Quran. you want me to read it for you?
I've looked at the Quran for over 15 years.
Can I read it for you?
Surah 9 it says, when the sacred months are over, take the infidel captive and slay them. That's the teachings of Muhammad.
And who are they? The people who persecuted Muhammad.
Infidels.
Okay.
I'm an infidel.
The word
God bless you.
Thank you.
You be careful, young man.
Thank you.
Be careful. I say that in love. I love you. I'm not against you.
Okay.
But we've got to be honest.
Thank you.
Islam is not a religion of peace. It's a religion of war and slaughter.
Thank you.
Muhammad was a jihadist. He was the first jihadist.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
So what happened right there? This is actually profound. You see, right there, what's happened is a perception that's built in the mind. He came and told us it. He didn't want to clarify, and he said, "This is exactly the problem." Do you see? That was actually amazing. I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. You see that man? He came here, said a few things. Yeah. Imagine if a BBC or someone was recording. You're gonna have people watching, and be like, "Yes, that's what he's talking about." I wanted to clarify. Yeah. Exactly. Do you see what I'm saying? This would have been. Tommy would have loved this. This would have been beautiful.
Yes, he says exactly what
exactly. The weather's perfect, the conditions are perfect, it would have been amazing. But you see the moment where I said to him, can we just read this Quran verse? I don't want to know. What does that show you? It shows you that he's saying, I'm happy believing what I'm believing, and I do not want to know don't tell me anything that may change my mind. However, with yourself, you broke that barrier. You said, no, I want to learn, I want to understand. And that's why where you are today is where you are today. Myself personally, my father hates Islam. I speak to my dad. My dad says the thing that I hate the most is being born into my family. But I say to my dad, Dad, just read. That's what I did. Before I came to Islam, I read. I didn't take media. So I just want to read a verse in the Quran here. Allah says in the Quran, Allah does not forbid you as regard to those who did not fight you based on your faith and did not expel you from your homes, that you do good to them and deal justly with them. So Allah is saying, people that did not come and kick you from your houses and persecuted you because you're a Muslim, He does not forbid you from being just and kind to them. So everything that He's saying, the Quran tells me to be just and kind to the Christians, the Jews, anybody, as long as you're not attacking me based on my faith. And him quoting Surah Tawbah is talking about the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he was attacked by the pagan Arabs. His family, his followers were persecuted. So he's saying basically, to defend yourself, you're a jihadi. So as Muslims, what do we need to do? We need to carry on being slaughtered. And that's a fine example, man. It's a fine example.
This is something I'm trying to understand. So it's, I mean, I'm completely... Do you know what I should say here? Because I'm super, if you have any input, I'm just completely
look.
How are you feeling right now? How did that make you feel? Because that was wild.
Maybe he saw his old self there.
Yeah, no, I did see my old self.
Yeah.
It's exactly the quotes and the stuff that I used to say.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
weird, but he just, I don't know how I felt about that.
Yeah, nice.
What was he saying that rang in your head? What made you feel a reaction from that?
When he said that Islam is a religion of violence, that he said that whenever you think of Islam, you think of terrorism, rape, murder, pillaging. That is the core of what we used to believe.
Yeah.
With Lawrence Southern, with our documentaries, with everything. It's weird. I haven't heard anything like it in a long time, and it's just
it brings back memories.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, no, that's the reason. At the end, if you remember, you said that when. Sorry.
One last point. The weirdest thing was he's just like a normal person. It's not online. So it reminds me how it's everywhere.
But do you see if we go back to Nazi Germany when the Nuremberg laws were implemented, you see, when you want to slaughter a group of people, it doesn't start with, hey, pick up the guns and we're ready to kill. Nobody will do that. Nobody in their right mind will do that. It's all justifying. Okay, why do we need to get rid of these people? For a better future, for our kids. Look, this religion is bad. These people are not bad, but they're brainwashed. So what it does is, it justifies. So when you start the propaganda and the media, if you look at how the Jews were treated in Nazi Germany, where they were drawing pictures with their big noses, evil-looking people, what they were doing is they were preparing people psychologically and mentally, so when the day comes to pull the trigger, they are ready to do it. And this is exactly what's happening. With this man, he could justify to himself and say, for example, the Christchurch attacker, he justified it to himself and said, these guys are the problem. I need to deal with the problem. So he went out there and started shooting and killing innocent men, women and children. Why? Because he justified it to himself. If he didn't believe this, and where did this come from? He had a connection to that guy, I forgot his, the guy Tom Robinson read the speech out.
Martin Summer.
Martin Sumner, yes, exactly. And he was even giving money towards them, yeah? So why is that happening? Because these words that we deem to be freedom of speech, it's basically a free ticket to spew the nonsense that I want to do, and then Tommy's not going to do it because Tommy lives in a nice house, in a mansion, he's got a jacuzzi, he'll be sipping his tea while he's got his foot soldiers, people like you, I'm telling you. Same goes with Majid Nawaz. Do you think, if Majid Nawaz, if you believe blowing yourself up goes paradise, go and do it yourself in a desert somewhere else and blow yourself up, yeah? Okay, if you believe, if you believe in paradise, instead of getting these youngsters that you're brainwashing to go and do your dirty job while you're sitting on your comfy home, you go and do it. That's the reason why we confront hate from both sides, because I believe they're both business partners. They work with each other. You'll have somebody who gets paid for smashing windows, and then you have the guy who sells windows, yeah? They both benefit of each other. Yeah. You smash the window, we'll sell it, we'll give you a little profit. Tommy and ISIS are buddies. They love each other. I'm being honest with you. When an attack happens, I genuinely believe Tommy gets happy. I believe he says, that's what we need. Because in order for us to achieve our agenda, yeah?
He has said that.
Said what?
Like, if a terror attack happens, like, it helps.
Good. It's good. It's like, for example.
What do you mean it helps? Like, what do you mean by that?
It makes people angry and it makes them more sympathetic to Tommy, and it usually causes a massive spike in views.
Exactly. And ISIS, they love the same thing. With ISIS, when an attack happens, Christchurch, see what they're doing to our brothers and sisters in Iraq. 1 million. You see what they're doing. Time will take revenge. That's exactly it sells. For the youngsters, it's emotional. Most of these youngsters who carry out the London Bridge attacks, what is that? I speak to them. I've confronted some of them. Their ideology and their thinking is, but they do it to our brothers and sisters. I say to them, okay, Bush and Tony Blair or whoever, they do it to our brothers and sisters. Is Bush my teacher or the Prophet Muhammad? Who's our teacher? Bush or Tony Blair or the Prophet Muhammad? Prophet Muhammad. Will the Prophet, peace be upon him, go and kill innocent people? No. So don't give me false analogies of Tony Blair's not my teacher. I'm not going to look at Tony Blair and be like, okay, he's killed 1 million people. Okay, let me go do the same. He's not my teacher. Islam is what I live my life by. And it doesn't teach that. And what you said, I know it.